5 months after getting my SOMA fitted, I was back on the train to London, heading for a flight out of Heathrow to Raleigh, North Carolina. This was a quick 4-day trip to have a checkup with Dr. Elmore and get my SOMA adjusted. So I arrived in North Carolina last night. Had a pretty rough sleep, to be honest, including having my first ever nosebleed in my entire life, which was all fun. I think the aircon kind of dried my nose out and caused that. But I'm now going to have my SOMA adjusted, the one that I had fitted last October. And then we're also having a new one that's been made fitted as well. So that's got a deeper platform. It's going to hopefully allow my jaw to come a bit further forward and open up my airway even more. So I'm going to take you behind the scenes and show you what we get up to. We've got our old SOMA, and you can see on the side here, I think from the view, if you look at it kind of like online, it looks sometimes like it's flat, but it always has like a ramping there, because what we're trying to do is kind of unlock the jaw. Unlocking the jaw, system to Ali. And so that's our old SOMA, and then this new higher platform SOMA. The front it'll be very similar where the front is lower than the rear, because we don't want tooth contact on the anterior, but you can see how much higher we are here in the back. And if you notice, the lab has already kind of started to ramp it a little bit for me. We're getting better at making it pretty customized. And what about the right side? Still all the way in the back?
The right side feels fine.
Fine. Okay. Let's do an adjustment, Judy, on the premolar. What we're going to do is we're going to adjust that to free that up a little bit, and then a little bit of the thickness inside in here to see if we can't relieve that pressure that you're feeling on that premolar. So we're going to do that now.
I'm not sure.
Okay, well, let's do this. Let me start adjusting the platform because the fit will change. So you just give them feedback on what you feel, and we'll go from there. And tap, tap, tap. Good, 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 good. Light and slide. Side to side. Good. And since we're touching the front, good. And the fit got a little bit better. We want balancing contacts on both sides. So if you look at this contact point here, there's like a light mark to match it, but not as heavy as a mark as you see on this side. So this side's a little heavy, but you can see how it's starting to track up. So we almost want like matching sides on both sides. The only time that changes is, let's say if you were missing a tooth, obviously we're not going to have a match on the opposite side if you're missing the bottom tooth. But if you have all of your teeth, we want balancing and matching contacts on both sides. Of course, as your jaw comes more forward, you start to open wider over months, these points will change, which is why you come back and see us. Eventually, once the muscles start pulling in so many different odd directions and find more of a balance, you'll kind of stay stabilized. So what we want is, ideally, all of these teeth would be on the same plane. So we're going to have these teeth over time, since they don't have an appliance on them, they're going to start to self-correct and erupt upward, which is where they should have been originally. And people always ask, well, why don't they fully erupt? My theory is the tongue hangs low, because most of us are mouth breathers. So that tongue is so heavy and hanging low on these teeth as they're erupting 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, those ages when they're coming in. And so as a result, the top teeth kind of almost, if you look, these teeth look a little bit lower down than the front teeth. And this is a common trend that we see pretty much in all of our patients. So the SOMA is almost, if you want to think about it, holding these teeth where they are, and then over time having these teeth meet up a little bit so that the bite gets more of that balance from kind of how nature just adjusted and the tongue was just so low over time. Now they were bringing the tongue up during the day as well, getting a muscular balance on the outside of your mouth and the inside of your mouth. That'll also help support these teeth kind of staying where they are and not continuing to over erupt when the mouth is open, and then keeping an imbalance between these teeth. All right.
The adjustment goes through an iteration process, gradually finding balance in the jaw and comfort in the fit. Transfer paper is used to make marks on the SOMA where it contacts the teeth. The marks are then used to guide the shaping. Blue paper guides the static contact points, and red paper guides the functional movement.
So remember before where we didn't have those balanced contacts on both sides? And now we have matching dots coming up on both sides. And that's what we want. We want to have a match for each dot on both sides. Let's see. How about now?
What?
Better, okay.
So I've just had my first night with my new SOMA. It definitely feels a bit thicker than the old one, but it's not actually too much. I'll show you a quick comparison of what they look like. They're pretty similar though. It wasn't as obvious a difference as I thought it would be. But this new one is quite a bit tighter though, so that's partly to do with the vertical height, I believe, so it might loosen a bit over time, but I'm also going to go back in today to have a quick checkup, just to make sure it's all fitting correctly, because obviously I don't want to fly all the way back to the UK and then there'd be an issue, so I'm going to get that checked out before I go home. But other than that, it was all good. So I'll have to wait a couple of weeks at least to see what the differences are, how it's improved my sleep. But so far it feels like it's gone all right. So I'm just about to go and have my adjustment with Dr. Elmore after having slept last night and my SOMA being a bit tight. But I've just come back here to the North Carolina Museum of Art to hang out for a bit, to read a book and just sit and chill out and enjoy the sunshine, reflecting on this trip a bit. It's definitely been a bit harder in some ways than the last time I came, just because it's been a bit of a shorter trip, like in and out and having a lot more going on. But then also I do so much to manage my health in my day-to-day, week-to-week, that when I come away on a trip like this, it's quite hard to do all of that. So it can ultimately affect my health quite a bit, even just coming away for a short period of time. I normally do mineral balancing work, which really helps with my energy, particularly like lifting my brain fog. But I haven't been able to do that while I'm here, or at least I felt it would be way too much to be trying to do that while coming away, because you have to be fairly regimented with like when you take your supplements and what times you eat, and making sure you're always taking them with meals and stuff. And eating out here is much harder. Like I don't really know when I'm going to be eating or what I'm going to be eating, so it's just hard to stick to that kind of routine. And then also things like looking after my nasal hygiene that I normally do morning and evening, which really helps my nasal breathing and make sure I get a better night's sleep really by being able to breathe through my nose. And I can't do any of that while I'm here because I don't have any of the equipment with me. So it's just a bit challenging doing stuff like this now. Like in the past, I wouldn't have had any of this stuff to think about. So it's just one of those things where at least now I can manage it and do stuff that really helps me to have high levels of energy and to feel a lot better in the day-to-day, but it's kind of difficult to keep it up at certain times. So thankfully I'm still feeling good emotionally, so just enjoying the time here, but kind of looking forward to going home as well in some ways. I think it's something maybe I have to figure out in the future of how to do travel in a bit of a better way that makes it more manageable.
It's partly because like, I put it in like while I was winding down for bed, and it was kind of fine, but then started to like build up. So it wasn't like initially putting it in and being like, oh, this is really tight. It was like, it was obviously tight anyway, but it wasn't any pain. Like when you're asking me, it was like, it was fine. And then it just kind of started to build up as being like, this is now going from being a nice snug fit to being a bit like, yeah, it almost just felt like it was like, I don't know, squeezing my teeth rather than what I was
just kind of being there.
Yeah. So, and it was almost like, it was a bit weird. I put it on and it was fine. But then if I was to bite down a bit, it would like drop even deeper in, and then it felt like it was really like pushing on all sides of my tooth, basically.
Okay, so now when you have it in and you bite down, does it feel like the teeth are sinking down into the appliance as well? And it's at the back, or is it at the front?
Definitely at the back.
At the back.
And it's probably my back molars, I think.
Okay, let's have you hop up here. Speed it up, you do that with my son. That or right on camera with Ali, it'll go right through my finger. First time, only because you're on camera. There we go. Yeah, that should be much easier to get off. Great. Okay.
So I've just finished having my SOMA adjusted and took a couple of hours, but it's all fitting right now. It was a little bit awkward trying to figure out what was going on, but it's all good now, so I'm just trying to find somewhere to eat. I went out for food, and then the next day I was flying home to the UK. It's always a long, tiring day of travel, and I have to do what I can to get through it. It feels a little bit silly flying 8,000 miles round trip just for 4 days. But for long-term health, I'm willing to do it. Just landed, now going to get a train back up to Sheffield. I've finally made it home after like a day of travelling, so I'm looking forward to getting to bed and having a sleep.